Hello traders, Day Trader Matt here of businesswithtrading.com, doing a trading strategy recap for the 16th of July, Thursday. And today was one of those days. It was interesting, and we ended up dropping one trade for a loss of 4 points. But we did have some trades in the afternoon that we talked about before we closed that actually would have put us in profit. So that's something interesting, that we do as a trading community. If something is looking interesting, we'll talk about it. Sometimes, the majority of the time, the afternoons are just pretty pathetic. For some reason, this entire month, the afternoons have been quite interesting. And sometimes months are like that. But anyway, let's look at what we actually did, and then we'll talk about that a little bit more towards the end of the video. So the market gapped up pretty nicely today and pretty much went sideways to a little bit higher going into lunch. So we basically watched price open up here, came down, came up, came down, and we decided, okay, let's look right here, and it was right here. Let's be long right here. Seemed like a good idea. Price chopped around a little bit. It did actually come up a little bit. We were looking for it to come up a little bit more. And then it rolls over and stops us out. Okay. And then it basically just kept going sideways. After it stopped us out, I expected it to do something, and it actually didn't. It's just a bunch of ugliness. But we talked about wanting to be short when we closed the room. Talked about wanting to be short. Highlighted key area. This was basically the start of it. It was 3/4 down to 2/4, somewhere, maybe a 3/4, 2/2, something like that. But it was that area. So it came down to the upper part of it. And, we talked about it's either going to break that area, or if it supports, which it actually had a good chance of doing, it was going to go up and go over whatever the high was going into 12 o'clock. So, 2116. And it actually did, it supported, and it went over that. Being able to, say, over the afternoon, I'm going to look for this specific area, it really does not happen very often. But for some reason, July, we've had more afternoons like that than any other month this year. And actually, more times in July than probably the entire year combined. Excluding July, of course, because that would skew the stats. But it's been very interesting. And being able to do that, it makes you want to stick around. Let me stick around, make a couple trades in the afternoon. And that's one thing I've done a lot. Usually when I have a day, the morning doesn't really go that well, but it's not horrible. I might have like one losing trade, maybe 1 out of 3 or something like that. I can stick around and trade the afternoon. If I'm trading in the morning, and let's say if I lost 12 points, I would not trade the afternoon. That hasn't happened all year, which is very good. I think the worst we've done so far this year is 2 back-to-back losses. And that's a full loss of 4 points each. That's not too bad. Because we've had back-to-back wins that have been a lot more than that. And it's been really good. And that's what trading's all about. Being able to bob and weave with the market. Maybe it's up, it's a good market. Maybe you're down a little bit of money. Not that great of a market. But it's all about maintaining yourself. 4 points is nothing. And like I showed in the afternoon, we were able to make our money back. But it doesn't matter as far as the trading room, because in the trading room we lost 4 points. I see a lot of people, skewing their results like, oh, I made this trade in the pre-market, so I'm going to include it in the stats, or after trading room and all that. And I don't really, affiliate myself with all of that or get involved in all of that. But since we're talking about this in particular, it's something that's going to come up. And to combine that with, your practice trading, your demo accounts, those two go hand in hand. A lot of people, and when I first got into trading, I was definitely guilty of this. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was totally guilty of this when I first got into trading, because I think everybody does it. When you start demo account trading, you're not trading real money. Therefore, you're more likely to cheat. And as you cheat in your demo trading, that cheating will eventually go over into your live trading. It won't be the same. It'll be slightly different, but it'll be there. And that's something that really is deleterious to your trading. It's something that you really want to, understand, comprehend, and be aware of. When I first got into trading, my demo trading was pretty abysmal. What I would do is I would get into a trade. First, I would lay out my parameters. I'm like, okay, well, this is going to be my max position that I'm going to get into. This is what I'm going to do. So I'd get into a trade, and it would go against me, and I'm like, oh, shit, it went against me. And, in the back of my head, I'm like, this isn't real money anyway, who cares? So what would I do? I'd add to it. Then it'd come in, it would eventually go in my favor. Whether it was like 30 minutes later or 2 days later, it didn't matter. It would eventually go in my favor, and I would say, oh, wow, that was so smart that I added to that trade. Look how much money I made, even though it wasn't real. And it felt good. And because it felt good, it made me want to cheat more, and cheat more, and cheat more. Therefore, when I started trading real money in the futures market, I made a shitload of trades. I made hundreds and hundreds of trades weekly. Monthly, yeah, I was probably paying my broker's car payment. It was pretty crazy. And then, eventually bad things happen, and then you start over again. And for me, I hit a couple spots where I was like, should I give up trading, or do I want to keep going? And I really loved it, even though I wasn't good at it. Because I really enjoyed like poker and chess and Risk and Go and things like that. Strategy. I wasn't a big game of like strategy games like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. But I was a fan of strategy itself. Watching football coaches. Why did he do this play rather than that play? I remember. I don't remember how old I was exactly. I think I was a teenager, maybe a preteen. I don't remember, something like that. And after a Super Bowl, like the team had a chance to win, and the play that they called was just stupid. It was a dumb play, and of course they didn't win. So about a half an hour after that game, my brother and I just sat and drew football plays. They could have ran this play. They could have ran this play, or this play, or this play, for a couple minutes. And then after that, it just became a competition. Let's just draw plays. Who can draw the best play? It became a lot of fun. But, I say that because it is very strategic. Trading is very strategic. If you start out of a place of mediocrity, then that's going to carry forward. But if you start in a place of success, awareness, abundance, it's going to carry forward as well. So, anyway, hopefully what I talked about made sense. I jumped around a little bit, different stories. I thought it was very helpful. If you liked something, you can talk about it below. If you want to add, talk about it below. If you want to ask a question, and I encourage you to ask questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Just if you have something on your mind, ask. If you don't want to ask below, email support@abusinesswithtrading.com. If you go to the website at businesswithtrading.com, you'll find a phone number. You can give me a call as well, Skype. All of those methods are available. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you back here in the markets. Thank you.